My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Monster Train 2. It's time to do our random. However, we're going to be doing it with the help of a mod called Better Random. You can find it on Nexus Mods. Thank you for Wobat for making me aware of it. What Better Random does is it randomizes a set of clans for us exclusively from the subset of clans that I have who have not completed Covenant Rank 10. So it just guarantees that we still keep making progress consistently with each of our wins. Pretty keen on that. A little less keen on the fact that you click it, it immediately randomizes, and then you hit depart. So I can see the clans, which admittedly shouldn't matter at all, but mentally it matters to me just a little bit. So I'm going to randomize exactly 5 times, and then we're going to hit depart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. It doesn't have to be 5. It could have been 1. Kind of like the ritual. Ritual? What's the word? I guess ritual kind of fits. Speaking of, we have Sarah Turner's Chosen of Savagery, so we're not going to have to deal with silence, which was what I was going to tie into the word ritual there. Oh no, we've got moon rituals. There we go. Got moon rituals with our Dun in the base deck. 5 copies of moon ritual phase to apply conduit 1 to a friendly unit. 5 copies of shade splitter as well. We are Umbra or rather Lunar Coven Exile and Umbra follow. Heart of the Clan, Heart of the Pacts rather. Playing a card from your primary and allied clans draws an additional card next turn. Only one though. Sarah Turner's Chosen of Savagery. Ugh. Ugh. I'm gonna have to find a quick sweeper for the bottom line. I've tried a bunch of different ways of trying to deal with the Rage Wings, and the most consistent way of dealing with them, I find, is a quick sweeper on the bottom line. Because forfeiting the bottom line so that you can use, like, the Inferno Room or something down there causes you to take a whole lot of damage to the Amalgams. It's just a bit tough. 2 copies of Moon Pixie in the base deck. 1 Ember, 1 Size, Conduit 3. Also enchants other units on the floor with Conduit 3. Kind of would have been good to have the exiled Umbra here, because then I would have been able to take advantage of Plinks dealing 10 damage apiece. 2 copies of Mortal Trade, 0 Ember to apply Lifesteal 4 and Ember Drain 2 to a friendly unit, and then finally a Shade Guard. 2 Ember, 3 Size, on resolve, if it is New Moon, gain +10, +15. I mean, we can definitely get started with these units, it just doesn't feel like they have a long future. Shade Guard, like, by the time Shade Guard gets large enough to really have an impact in the end game, the boss is there, beating Shade Guard's head in. I suppose I should probably look at my artifact first here. Oh. Okay, so Lunar Lantern is interesting because I do like the idea of trying to consistently benefit our silent units. Silents get +20 on New Moon. Shade Guard is a silent unit. It resolves in New Moon. So, like, I'd have a bunch of reasons to try and leave my turn on New Moon. However, Shade Lamp, the first time an enemy unit dies each turn, add 2 morsel units to your hand. That is a lot of morsels. We've got Merchant of Steel with the Umbra next to it, Merchant of Steel Lunar in the second as well, which does lean us a little in the direction of Merchant of Magic Umbra banner at the first rank. All I'd have to do is find the Gorging minion to really be quite happy to have Shade Lamp. Shade Lamp has significantly larger impacts in the long term than Lunar Lantern. I gotta take it for that reason. I mean, I've never really gotten to use Hierophant. On Incant, apply Armor 2 to friendly units. Silent units gain double the amount, and we do have a silent unit to stand in front of you in Shade Guard. Let's do it. So that makes the 2 of you 1 line, and then an Umbra Gorging line would be a great second line for us. I do think I just set up low. I have no resources to gain permanently over the course of this fight or anything like that. It's not New Moon. Perfect. So I can incant a couple times there. I guess there's also an argument that I should set up as high as I can so that Ardun and Shadeguard get large enough to kill the Fallen Champions before they get to the top line. Because I have no way of taking out the Ominous Acolytes in the back line, which means they're just going to get 15 health additionally every round. Which, like, I can barely even do 15 damage on the next line. Yeah. Not being able to collect the collector is bad, but I was never really going to be able to get that here, unfortunately. Do I want to double toggle? No, it's going to be significantly better for me if I just use one of them on that floor. Well, actually, just one of them at all. This is the thing. Slowing down my own ability to hit incant triggers because I want to end the turn on New Moon feels a little bad. Doesn't feels like I want to do it. We'll kill on the bottom line basically as soon as they get here, so I'm only going to have to suffer one line of champions getting to the top. Alright, whatever. A pretty good spare of spells here. We leak that to the very top. And we'll win on the bottom line. We'll double up on a mortal trade, even get a New Moon out there. Incredible. So the problem is both of these lines that I'm planning on, like a Gorge line as well as the Shade Guard line, both of them become large over the course of the fight. They do not start large. So I don't have any real immediate impact on the board, which is a problem. Phase Blessing for the ability to give armor to units. I wax poetic about this basically every time I run into it. As Lunar Coven, it is just an incredibly versatile piece of equipment that covers something that Lunar Coven otherwise often has difficulty doing. Granted, Ardun's giving armor as well, but is more armor going to be a bad thing? Not necessarily. In fact, not at all. Silver Strike, deal 25 damage to the front end unit on full moon, deal double. Or rather, deal damage 2 times instead. Not bad, certainly. But my priority is getting a Phase Blessing in the deck first. Mind Collapse, Prismal Dust, and Antumbra Assault. I really lean to Antumbra Assault here, because Antumbra Assault with Shade Lamp means basically 4 morsels a turn, which means I can start planning around eating a stupid amount of morsels. Also, a really good card to hit right before going to a Merchant of Magic. Intrinsic -1 is incredible for it. We really have to take the one that has a Gorge benefit, despite the fact that it's gaining lifesteal from that benefit, which is not really what I would have asked for. -1 to costing, we'll make Phase Blessing cost nothing, remove a card from the deck. Honestly, with this deck at the moment, removing a Shade Splitter makes a lot of sense. But so does removing Shield Steward and the rest of the Stewards as well. I'll wait until I get to my Merchant of Steel so that I can try and find, like, quick multi-strike, stuff like that. Start a battle enemies per in each floor. Not so bad. Ominous Acolyte is healing. It's not so bad. I can take that, I think. It'll be Shade Guard, Ardun top, Crucible Collector, and Shield Steward bottom. Perfect. And Tumbra Assault gives us 4 embers directly, morsels directly in hand immediately. I love that. Moon Ritual. Pop a couple Shade Splitters up there. I'm not even really going to have the opportunity to play them all out. So I'll put all of the ones with damage on this line, just to help take out Forsakens. I could save a lot of health by putting a morsel in front as well. Which actually seems like it could be really relevant. Maybe even put you behind. Just some additional health because the Flagellant's going to come up with 7 damage, so I don't want it to be able to hit the Crucible Collector and immediately beat it. And then bottom line, I'll go for additional energy and damage shields. This definitely seems like a large likelihood of going for a capacity as my first gem. Capacity's often my second gem, it's seldom my first, though. Dang. Just short of being able to take out that collector. Unfortunate. I'll drop double Moon Pixie on the bottom line, but it's not really necessary. I'll chump block with a Spear Steward just to get it out of the deck. Thank you for my morsels. Full Moon. Yeah. Shade Splitter. Shade Splitter. Give him 8 additional armor. And we only send a healer to the top line. Gotta love that. Gotta make sure I end my turns on New Moon. Perfect. Bottom line absolutely collapses, but the next line wins. Oh my god. Yansumber Assault with 4. It's so good! It's simply too good. Okay, so we're decently ahead of power curve at the moment, especially if I can increase the health of the Gorge of the Crucible Collector. So, like, the real downside of this guy is simply that your defensive ability is tied to lifestealing, which means if you attack quickly, you're healing on top of your full health. If you respond to your enemy, you need to be able to survive all the damage they can do before you then respond to them. And if that enemy is sweeping, they'll take out all of your morsels that are there to support your health, right? So really, what does Crucible Collector really want? Health. A lot of health. So that they can take, like, a turn that they're not life-stealing back their full health and still survive. So if I can give you, like, Smudge Stone, if I can give you Smidge Stone and Large Stone at the same time, that would also give you one more space, but it's really relevant for additional morsels. Starstruck Gravity and Silver Strike is back. Gravity, of course. 1 Ember, deal 5 damage on New Moon, Descend on Full Moon, Ascend. Starstruck, deal 5 damage, Full Moon, apply Dazed 1. I like that. I like having the ability to apply Dazed. It can be really important. So can Ascend and Descend. I would take a copy of each of these, actually. One copy, precisely, of each of these, but still. I'll take Starstruck because there's situations where I won't want to play Gravity even for damage because it'll move a unit in a way that I don't want. Whereas I'm never going to look at Starstruck and go, no, thank you. Don't need another Immortal Trade. Prismal Dust is okay? It's okay. Put a bunch of damage shield on a target. You can, protect it against the Rage Wings, things like that. Pretty good for a backliner in that way. Not very consistent, though. Making Morsel adds a Morsel-minded hand. I don't think I need many more Morsel cards in this deck, but as I start cutting the Shade Splitters, I do think having some high-value Morsel cards in the deck makes more sense. So there's Large Stone. Problem is, it's really hard to take that first. I still think I should, though. I'll tell you this one. Titanite goes on Shade Guard. I think Large Stone should go on the Crucible Collector here. And yes, I'm just going to swap back and forth consistently. Just so that when I get my capacity, I can still put 4 units on the same field. And then, if I get the Small Stone, I can put 6 morsels on the same field. It having much higher health is really important. I should have looked at the Lunar Coven unit first before that, though. Second Shade Guard. If I'm working this hard to get 1 Shade Guard triggering every turn, surely it does make sense for me to have a second Shade Guard, right? It's better than a Shield Steward on that second line, right? So Shade Guard with double Moon Pixie behind, and then Shade Guard with Ardun behind, and then a Morsel Floor with a Crucible Collector. It's not half bad. Astrologer on Moon Cycle gain fine damage. Honestly, I am kind of keen on that. The only problem is I don't have a defender for them, so really that's asking me to take Shade Guard. Although, Astrologer, you're a Selene unit. That's unfortunate. It means you won't gain double the armor incant from Ardun. But if I did take a capacity, you would be able to go on the same floor as Ardun, which could be relevant. Ardun, Moon Cycle, Astrologer, the Shade Guard, and then Crucible Collector is 4, which means my 3 Ember and my 1 Deployment Ember gets me across the line to be able to play all of them, whereas Shade Guard, I can't do that. It's really important to have the Crucible Collector out at the start. I think I have to take Astrologer and Capacity. Oh, good lord. Oh, boy. I can't take 5 copies of anything right now. 5 copies of no matter what it is too much. Another copy of Entumbra Assault. Just having another copy of that cycling through the deck is pretty good. I will also say, if I did copy it 5 times, because it's intrinsic, my opening hand just gets 5 0-cost copies of it. I just get to do that in my opening hand. And then in the next cycle, I just have a lot of Entumbra Assaults quite commonly. That said, I do think that is way in excess to requirement when I only need 4 a turn for the sake of the Crucible Collector. I'll dupe it once. I really wish I could have justified duping it 5 times, but it actually would have become... Like, my deck would have had so many morsels in it that I was shuffling them back. Which is not where you want to be. Can't play the Astrologer just yet. It's the plan for after this fight, not in this fight. Making Morsel has to happen. Morsel Minor for the 8/8. Then additional health makes more sense on that floor. I'm going to be cycling morsels back into the deck by doing this, but I can also select healthier ones. Yeah, like I get to block with an Entumbra morsel who then gets eaten as well. Love doing stuff like that. Can't play Moon Ritual. Gotta end our turns on New Moon. That damn picky Shade Guard up there. Striking down an enemy this turn is pretty important because it just gives me a bunch of minions. Oh, hang on, that Shade Splitter can be played on the top line though. Stop. Takes you out, then Shade Flitter on top line for the incant trigger. Because we're lifestealing back with the Crucible Collector, it doesn't matter which way I deal with it. There we go, all's well. Can't do anything with that Shield Steward. Gotta make sure that Crucible Collector is eating well, though. Ooh, Excavator is ideal. Another stack of lifesteal for the mid lane, as well as coming with damage. Can't hardly complain about that. Ooh, a Rubble Morsel on the bottom line as well, so it doesn't attack and it does survive the Carrying Sycophant. Perfect. Unfortunately, the Carrying Sycophant will die to the Crucible Collector, so I can play a Morsel Excavator on that field. Nice. A 1000% is a capacity. Feels like it might even be capacity and draw. Dang. Short of being able to kill the Flagellant and Savage Spearman here. Rough, so we'll take 6 damage direct to the Pyre after this. Not thrilled about that, but so it goes. Hey! Perfect turn to burn out the Calcified Ember now. Perfect. God, if only I had spells that I could hit with Silver Ink. I don't really. I have, 2 Antumbra Assaults, which don't need it, realistically. And Starstruck. Like, you'd want things that hit multiple targets. Speaking of hitting multiple targets, Heavenfall. 4 Ember to deal 80 damage to enemy units. On full moon, deal damage to all floors instead. This kind of thing, so that you can reset while you are still trying to grow your board state, I think is really important. That sucks. I don't want a second Crucible Collector. I don't really want to turn it into a Morsel Maker floor. I'm the Morsel Maker. Morsel Master isn't bad, but the reason you take Morsel Master is because you have very few morsels and you want to make more morsels, and I am not in that position. God. I'm leaning towards none of these. So what are our lines again? Oh, no. There's no more banners. What are our lines again? It's Ardun. Astrologer theoretically could go on the Ardun floor, but it doesn't need to. It triggers when the moon cycle happens. But if I did want to take advantage of the incants, then it's Ardun, Astrologer, and Shade Guard, and then Crucible Collector on its own line. So we currently have an empty line. If I think that second line, that empty line, is going to be another Gorge line, then I take Morsel Master. I don't think so. I think there's a really good argument to make here that I should take left and get a second copy of the Shade Guard. Astrologer's really bad on the lower floors. Who can deal with the lower floors? Like, if I could give Shade Guard spikes or something. But I'm in the wrong clan combo for that. The Pie Health certainly appeals. The Merchant of Magic as well, with Heavenfall, making Morsel. I mean, Holdover would be incredible for the Entomber Assault. Incant units now gain 3 armor. Spell chain, you say? Spell chain's really important in incant builds. I can also -2 cost consume and remove consume from something, which should be pretty great for Heavenfall, turning it into a card that I can actually play. I like that a lot. I can't turn that down. Also, +10 magic power, either Phase Blessing or either of the Entomber Assaults would happily take that. I think I more need it on Phase Blessing, actually. And that'll be much more impactful over the course of the rest of the run. This is interesting, though. Now do I dupe the 2-cost Heavenfall? Because what is duping Shade Guard? It is giving me another slow-growing defensive unit. Astrologer is like a relatively slow-growing aggressive unit. So is Crucible Collector. So at the moment, getting aggression from something else, like having a couple of Heavenfalls cycling through the deck that I can trigger consistently, I think is necessary. This is not usually how I play. We'll see how it goes. Okay. I believe we can set up our Crucible Collector on the bottom line now. Shade Guard, Ardun, and Astrologer still hit top. I need as long as possible for them to power up. I can Entomber Assault my own unit and still gain out of that, which is cool. Energy on the midline, ready to get eaten by someone, and then damage, 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 damage shield. Seems great. By the time Rabbit Zealot gets the top line, if I had the moon phases this turn, I'd be really confident, but I don't. If I draw one moon phase next turn, just a single moon ritual, it's literally like worst possible cycle. That's awful. Because now I can't play this without flipping the mode. Do I do it? Do I give up +10, +15 just so that I can hit Heavenfall on all targets? I think so. Also, it's +5 damage on the Astrologer. It's always going to want it. Heavenfall hits all the heaven floors. Hey! Save my damage shield that way. rude. Oh, wait. No. I've just got enough damage with the minions to be able to get that collector. Hell yeah. I think I'm going to have to constantly cycle just for the sake of the damage of the astrologer. And the incant triggers on that line as well. Perfectly out of cycle. Bluff. 14 and dazed. 883. I wouldn't really be able to do damage to an enemy there. I think it's more important I just take out an enemy here. Come on. And Sombra. Oh, Heavenfall would have done. Rude. It's not full moon. I'm perfectly out of cycle constantly. This is awful. I don't want to pass 16 damage to the top line. But also, like, aren't I just going to pass that damage next turn if I don't hit the midline this turn? Oh, actually, it's possible the boss just gets caught on the Crucible. Okay, yeah, we're fine. Hit the top floor. You get taken out. Throw it down on the bottom line, and then hopefully the line that's now on the top does not even get past where it is. Oh no, Ajax! God, Ajax is so annoying. Okay, thankfully we have another Heavenfall in hand. That's literally why I got this in the deck. I'm so glad it's actually fulfilling its purpose. Such a nightmare. How dare you, Ajax? At the start of its turn, it applies SAP 3 to all units, and then it also hits to apply SAP 3, so it's the only way that it could get through the Crucible Collector. Like, the only boss that's really capable of doing that right here. By completely removing its attack stat. Mm-hmm. I think the additional damage on the Shade Guard's going to be pretty important here. I don't think I can play the Moon Ritual. Turns out reducing our draw is a really effective way to screw with us. Thankfully, it only costs us like 6 health this panel. Eclipse Chamber, 100% Eclipse Chamber. I'd like to have Aurora Weaver for on Moon Cycle gain Conduit 1, which is nice. But Eclipse Chamber, new moon effects are always active on this floor, which means that I won't have to worry about short cycling in order to trigger the Shade Guard. And also, silent units gain plus 15 damage on resolve. The Shade Guard is silent. So my tank unit is going to get more damage every round. In fact, putting this in my opening hand sounds incredible. Oh, wow. Good lord, what do I do here? Feast. Trigger feeding on friendly units with Eaton. Having that with Permafrost gives me the ability to allow the Crucible Collector to collect food and then to play even more down. Granted, my morsel consistency isn't incredibly high at the moment, but when I get them, I get a lot of them. Engine upgrade. -1 capacity on a floor. We'd probably use that on Arduin's floor after we've already filled it. And then +1 energy her turn for the rest of the battle. That's just useful. And Ember Cache. Consume, apply 3, or add 3 excavated embers to your discard pile. That, I think, that's a lot slower than I think I'm comfortable being. This is incredible, but also incredibly niche. I need to have so much morsel generation, and I do, but some turns I also have none. Like if one of these Entomb results had holdover, I'd click feast 100,000% of the time here. That said, engine upgrade, giving me the ability to maybe bypass taking additional energy. Ever. Granted, I don't really need additional energy right now. Merchant of Trinkets next to Unstable Vortex Armory. Merchant of Arms next to Rehearsal Horde. Wow, I'm going Merchant of Arms. No, I can't. Damn it. Eclipse Chamber costs an Ember. Without additional deployment Ember, I won't have the ability to play it in the opening. How do I deal with this? Somehow I need more deployment Ember. But I'd really, really prefer to use Draw as my second relic. This is really difficult. Like, if I don't take Draw as my second relic, suddenly Feast is a lot worse. A lot less of the time I end up with it in hand alongside other things that I want it to be alongside. Am I okay with waiting for the Eclipse Chamber to come out of my deck naturally? I guess. I don't feel great about that, but I guess. So I'm not giving it deployable? Oh boy. Look, I will say, removing 2 cards from the deck as well as looking at the trinkets is pretty important for us as well. Deployment phase, drawing non-damage spell card from your deck. It costs -1, and Firestone Housing units get an extra upgrade slot. I think both of those sound good to me. Bloodthirsty Blade. On Slay, this gains +1 damage permanently. I think that's a totally reasonable thing to just throw on the Crucible Collector. Moonlit Glaive, we don't really gain that much Conduit yet. Steward's Quarters, additional size, and Train Stewards gain multi-strike on the floor. Pretty irrelevant to our deck. We'll take a Bloodthirsty Blade, start growing that. Why not? Unstable Vortex. The Shield Stewards and Spear Stewards are absolute garbage in this deck. I'm going to take the Spear Stewards out first. Merchant of Steel for starting to fill up our Firestone housings, I think would be huge on the next floor. A Penitent Prayer Stone is spawned on each floor. Thankfully, the only units that I really care about accidentally hitting that are morsels, and I can deal with that. If I just don't get hit with a couple of morsels, that's okay. We should probably set up on the top 2 floors, though. Nice. Having Shade Splitter to eat at the very start is pretty helpful. Oh, hang on. No, I can even get an incant on the top line. We'll do that as well. Hell yeah. And Sombra Assault gives us... I can't use any of the magma morsels because they'll die, unfortunately. I don't really want more morsels added to hand right now, do I? Yeah, I don't think so. Don't blame you, can't. On top line, 9 damage for the mid line as well. I think that actually makes a little bit of sense because it gets the Penetrant Pressstone below half health. And you have Harvest Trigger for growing larger, so I don't really want to feed Morsel Jewelers into you. Whoa. Really? Feast? Now? Whoa. Yeah, this is exactly the turns you don't want Feast, but it's okay. Shield Steward with Moon Pixie. I'll Heavenfall this floor. Perfect. Put a Morsel Excav and Magma Morsel on the second floor, then eat them all up. Oh, hell yeah. Heavenfall is active. That's really important right now. Conduit. 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 Heavenfall! Oh, and it gets the Collector. Oh, it slays so many units. Oh, it's so good. Sadly, we will be leaking 4 damage to the top line. Oh no. Starstruck the enemy to get a couple units. Both of those Undying Wretches will die next floor, so I don't have to worry about hitting another Shade Splitter there. Finally got the Eclipse Chamber for the top line and the Bloodthirsty Blade for the mid. And now that New Moon effects are constantly active on the top line, I don't have to worry about slowing down my cycles either. Oh, it's so good. So that means the Shade Guard is now growing 25, 15? 25 attack, that is? I don't understand Heavenfall here. Deals 80 damage to enemy units. Adamant Shield Bearer. You have 50 health, 50 armor, and 30 health. And then if I do it, you have 20 health remaining. So you're taking 60 damage to Heavenfall? And so is the Ravenous Zealot? Why? Why 60 rather than 80? Does anyone know? I'm actually really concerned by this. Has anyone spoken about this anywhere? I don't understand. Why is Heavenfall saying 80 and doing 60? Am I just awful at mathematics? Do I literally just not know how to count? I'm pretty sure I know how to count. 1, 2, 7, 12. It's pretty easy. You say numbers. And here I thought this said 80. Deal 80 damage to enemy units. And then if I try and do it, it deals 60. I do not understand. And it's not just the visualization that was wrong. There was another Adamant Shield Bearer that it didn't kill earlier, and I was very surprised by it, but I didn't slow down to really address it. We're doing grand here. That line even gets a couple of slays to add to its weapon. See, the top line is now really capable of dealing with 170 health units. How it will fare against 500 health units remains yet to be seen. Lunacy. It's exactly the spell that I'm looking for if I'm trying to scale the Astrologer. On Mooncycle, gain 5 damage, so this just Mooncycles that many times, and also applies additional conduit. How much do I think I can get away with a beast? That additional feast gives me the ability to add a lot more morsel gain to this deck. Multi-strike is pretty important. Unfortunately, it does mean the Crucible Collector is going to exhaust their lifesteal twice as fast. However, it is also the primary damage upgrade that we even have access to. Although Astrologer also wants it. I'll give it to Astrologer. You know what? Titanite on Crucible Collector. That seems good. Plus 14. I don't think there's a great reason to ignore just throwing that on the Astrologer. Your next upgrade that you really care about is quick. Damage Shield 3, I think that could easily just go on Shade Guard. In the world where they have 3 upgrade slots each, having any of them at the end of the run without upgrades on them is a huge failure. These Moon Pixies are nothing in this deck right now. They're trying to support a third line that I just don't have the minions to play. Merchant of Steel with money and an Empyrean Well next to it. I'll save my money here as well so that I have a higher chance of being able to get another multi-strike or a large stone, small stone, or something like that from the next. Hail Lord of Cherubs. I can't have you sending bastions up to the top floor. We tried it. We tried it before, and you absolutely moidled this for us. So, your bastions, I need to knock your units early. Heavenfall is going to be really helpful. They summon bastion units that have a ridiculous amount of health and armor and 15 Titan skin. And then when those get the lifesteal, everything's awful. The only problem is, those sit behind healthy units as well, so it's 170 health and then like 200 health with 15 Titan skin, which I did note in the last battle was pretty difficult for us. It hasn't gotten easier. Yikes. We really don't have the ability to contest the... We don't have the range or anything to really be able to contest summoning those on the bottom line. I think it's got to be Shade Guard, Ardu, and Astrologer bottom to throw as much damage as I possibly can, as quickly as I possibly can. And then Crucible second. Moon Ritual gets us to the right phase. Yay! I can daze a unit, but the thing is, Eaton is not a resolve ability. Or rather, I could have dazed a unit, but Eaton's not a resolve ability. I suppose I should play that Starstruck though, so... we'll find a way to incorporate it. Prevent Kale from hitting? Not especially relevant. I'm gonna save some damage shield for the Zealot. More damage for the Collector is our highest priority, so very glad to be able to max out on that. Yeah, unfortunately that Cherub is going to get eaten. Oh, hang on. It actually might matter that I do that damage to the right target at the very end. Starstruck. Conduit. And Sombra Assault gives us our damage. We throw the Morsel Jeweler away on the top line, and then this Entombra Assault hits the Zealot again. In fact, I'll summon 2 more morsels and just throw them on top as well. Yeah, see, this is... the Vampiric Cherub has given plus 12 damage to the Ravenous Zealot, which now has 16 damage with Multi-Strike. And is life-stealing off of the first hit. It's pretty bad out there. Eclipse Chamber for the bottom line, very happy to see it. Here's the first Chosen Bastion, standing directly behind a Scarred Sentinel. I'm terrified. Thankfully, I do have Heavenfall. Unfortunately, if I play Heavenfall here, which I still have to, it means Kale is now going to give that damage and lifesteal to the Chosen Bastion. I think we'll ultimately get away with it. Oh, and we do, actually. One more Moon Cycle on the bottom line is enough damage to get us there. Oh, phew. I'd love to get quick on the Astrologer for that bottom line. Ooh, this is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for. Moon Ritual and then just Lunacy on a turn where I can play it big style. That's enough to get everyone except for the Vicious Axe Thrower down. Although I think it's because the... is the Vicious Axe Thrower getting buffed? No, it's not. Right, Ardun is exactly enough to take out the literally 30 damage. Oh, actually, you've been amped a little. What amps your damage this fight? Silent units gain plus 15 on Soul. It can't be gaining it from that. What amped your damage? Ardun, you start. You gained no health, but 12 damage. Why? I actually don't understand how that happened. Oh well. Moon Ritual and then Heavenfall to destroy everything everywhere. Excellent. Then we'll Making of a Morsel, Morsel Minor, Morsel Major, Morsel Major, and Morsel Jaw Arm. Hit him with a Feast. Nice. And then I can even Magma Morsel and then hit that one with a Feast. Bloodthirsty Blade now makes much more sense on Astrologer. If I feast on the line, I might as well. As long as I can make the Astrologer quick, I do think we would actually be able to run our lower line against the Savages. Okay. Heavenfall doesn't have to hit all lanes. Nice Whip does, though. Eat 'em! Recently, Beak and I have been buying, we've just been buying, just cheese that is exclusively labeled 32 slices of Edam cheese. That's all that's really written on the packaging for it. And every time I ask Beak, why is it called that? He responds, because there's 32 slices and I eat them. And then he eats a slice. And I can't say eat them without thinking of that now. Okay, Lord of Cherubs is still here trying to punish us. How dare you? Unfortunately, I haven't got a feast in this hand. I would love to, though. Thanking Morsel still has to be played. Much better. Unit. That'll have to do. Astrologer's doing a lot more work than I thought they would. They are absolutely holding this down in a way I did not think them capable of. Get him, Astrologer! Oh, come on, get this Slay. Hey! Literally got the Slay by more, 1 damage. 2 damage less, wouldn't have got it. Another Heavenfall. Furnace tap. Silver Ink. Silver Ink's actually hilarious here. Well, because I got 2 Heavenfalls in the deck, I'm probably going to dupe a 3rd one out of the deck. So he can apply Attuned to a Heavenfall, which is a lot of damage. Is it a lot of damage? How much conduit do I even get on that bottom line? Like, over the course of the battle, maybe like 8, 9. So sure, it's like 40 additional damage. That's not that good. What if I just took another Heavenfall, though? I can't cast this one yet. I'm gonna hit Merchant of Steel in the next area and probably Merchant of Magic in the last. Both of those have an Empyrean Well. If I want Heaven's Fall, I have Heaven's Fall. I just don't use this one. Final question, do I take Furnace Tap? Yes. Yes, we do that one. Ability Shadowcast, phase to New Moon. And on New Moon have 50 additional damage. Cool. We're going higher than 3. Oh! Oh! Merchant of Steel! So. Great things about this Merchant of Steel. If I mini-stone the Shade Guard now, I know I said that I was going to mini-stone the Crucible Collector, but if I mini-go the Shade Guard, I can actually put both of the Moon Pixies on that same floor, which then does mean that we actually have a lot of conduit for the, what's it called? Heavenfall. I think that gives me the ability to incorporate the Moon Pixies again. I think it's a good idea. I'm not going to give Astrologer the additional damage just yet. Nor am I going to just pump up the Crucible Collector here. I'll give these to a Moon Pixie, though. Plus 14 to one, plus 20 health to the other, then reroll. There's the quick I was looking for. Quick and double on Astrologer. Let's give Dualism to the healthier of the Moon Pixies, who I will also give another Conduit 5 to. And then the less healthy one, you can gain Damage Shield 3. Empyrean Well, I am pretty much honor bound to dupe my Heavenfall. A little additional energy now, like from a relic or something like that, would be really helpful. Number enemy units restore 150 health when they move off a floor. I really wish that this showed you like all of the units, because I can't remember what healthy unit they have in front of them. Like, these probably have the 500 healths and probably have the amalgams at 425 health. But what do the lines actually look like? What am I planning for? I suspect I run the same 2 lines I ran in the last battle in this battle. Although perhaps even Crucible Collector on top line this time. Realistically, if someone gets off of the bottom line, which they absolutely will, because I just don't do enough damage to prevent that, they get to the top, because Heavenfall is just attrition for 500 health units. I can't take this challenge. I really wanted to, though. I really think I need relics to actually cover my final fight, so I'm not going to say it's always correct, by the way. In fact, I'm not even going to say it's commonly correct. But when I die to taking a seal, a challenge, a lot of the time what I am trying to do is to gain additional resources, of course, but to shore up some weaknesses that the run still has. Sometimes it feels to me that I can either choose to possibly risk taking a 400 gold Heaven Seal challenge here, or I can turn that off and then still definitely die to the Titans, right? It feels like I need that additional money to really get enough power from Heaven's Maw to push through the final 2. That's where I feel like I'm at the moment, but I also don't feel like I have the option to do it. Arduin has additional damage because it has Mage Blade, and we had Conduit on its floor, which is now giving additional damage to Arduin again. Cool. Oh, these Antumbra assaults. This is perfect. We finally have a Feast Hand to write home about. Four morsels and you eat them. I mean, Heavenfall's lovely, but I don't need it at all. Another 4 morsels. Gotta get a Bloodthirsty Blade on the Astrologer. Starstruck can straight up just kill the Discordant Heretic, and I suspect that's exactly how I want to utilize that. Furnace Tap is nice, but I can't really take that Ember Drain right now. Yeah, because I'm going to have turns like this where I absolutely need to play the Heavenfall. Oh, hell yeah. Second Moon Pixie go down, and then Heavenfall for 137 damage to all floors. Oh my god, the Avowed Gladiator is getting off of that floor with 1 HP remaining. Which also does mean, by the way, it would have gotten to the top line without a problem if I took the seal. Heavenfall's ready to go. Oh, so's Lunacy, but I have to play the Heavenfall. I am very happy to have a run that's finally, like, really defined by Heavenfall. This is not going to be capable of dealing with two 500s. Yeah, there they are. I mean, the Eclipse Chamber coming out earlier would be really helpful, but I don't have the resources to make that happen. That said, thankfully the two 500s don't reach the top line if I win the battle on the bottom line, and I don't foresee a good reason why that won't happen. Hit him with the Heavenfall. Seriously, drawing that every single turn? Incredible. That'll do it. You can eat a couple more, buddy. You look famished. And I can Mooncycle on this floor to still benefit the Astrologer without triggering Incant. No! Oh, wait. No, it wasn't the Astrologer that got slain. No! Oh, that's so... Oh, dear. How do you do this one? Oh, wow. Okay, so... a second copy of Eclipse Chamber so that I'm more likely, like, much more likely to draw it early is really important, actually. After I've drawn it, it's garbage to have a second one. Mooncaller. Mooncycle triggers an additional time. Put that on the same floor with Astrologer, and it literally doubles her damage growth. It'll have to take the position of one of the Moon Pixies, but that's okay. Cannibalize. Maybe I do want a copy of Cannibalize. It's the ability to kill my own morsel in order to get different, better morsels. It's also the ability to sack one of my own Moon Pixies if I recognize that I want to play it on the bottom line, but I also want to remove it later. I feel less confident about that. I'm going to take Gem Trove for 1 damage shield to all friendly units. That's just for bottom line defense against a Savagery, if that Savagery happens to be bad enough to really bother defending against. 190 to take advantage of here. Oof. Apply damage shield 2 to the first friendly unit summoned each turn. Very good. Merchant Magic has holdover for an Entombra Assault. Has to happen because it's intrinsic, so I'll be able to kill a Savage with this every single turn. And then double stack. I think double stack Furnace Tap is really good. because we can give 4 multi-strike to the astrologer on the bottom line, and then realistically, it is really bad for us for a couple of turns after that. I don't get to play Heavenfall for a while, which is the worst part of this. However, once that Ember Drain has gotten low enough, I mean, obviously I can still play Moon Rituals and Lunacy and stuff like that, but once the Ember Drain has gotten low enough, no, I can't do that. It will actually kill me. I won't be able to play anything. Damn. Let's make Lunacy phase once more. Plus 10 damage for the other end, Tumber Assault. I'll take it, and I'll remove a card from the deck. It's got to be Immortal Trades. They've been so far from useful this whole time. Removing more cards. I do think Immortal Trade... I don't want to get rid of another one of the Moon Pixies, but realistically, the bottom line can't hold all of them at the moment. However, I can just throw that on a free line if I need it. Shade Splitter... Yeah, I still need to reduce the size of this deck as much as I possibly can. It's Immortal Trade Shade Splitter. Reducing the size of this deck is for the consistency of drawing into Heavenfall. Speaking of drawing into Heavenfall, I have nothing against the idea of just hitting Heavenfall with the dupe again here. In fact, that's what I've been kind of planning the whole time. All right. Seraph enchants our units with their units rather with Rage 6 and ours with Melee Weakness 2 on entry. Thankfully, the Titanite is really, really useful in holding that off. I do want to set up on the bottom line, and I will be able to kill units consistently, so it's worth it. Result number 1. Oh, hang on. We'll Moon Phase first, and Timber Assault number 1. Getting all of these units. Love it. Heavenfall doesn't need to hit all floors. Hang on. No, there's a way smarter way of doing this. Moon Pixie backline. Then Entumbra U. Lifesteal, damage. Heavenfall everyone. Moon Ritual 1 to get to New Moon. Another Entomber Assault for just 50 damage straight up. And then throw a Magma Morsel on top line. Nice. It's important I let the midline actually get hit there so it removes its damage weakness. This bottom line would be unplayable if it weren't for the existence of a Heavenfall here. There's Moon Cycle as well. Good to see her. Thankfully, Phase Blessing on the bottom line is also a ridiculous amount of health. I'm going to use Entomber Assault on my own minion on the top line, giving me the ability to summon 4 morsels to mid. This mid line is so extremely mid. The absolute definition thereof. Oh boy. That's a lot of damage going straight to the top. I mean, it's enchanted with Rage 3, but it doesn't... That's an enchant, right? So it loses that when it leaves the floor. Loses all of that rage, right? Please? Please? Yeah, it does. Good. I'd love to have more Conduit on the bottom line. I can't really justify that right now, unfortunately. And Timber Assault is not enough to take out the Harper's Protector. Rude. Terrifying Amalgam is going to make it to top line, but I don't need to take 5 higher damage for you hitting an empty line here. I'll just take the 6 when you hit me straight in the dome, please. Oh boy. Lunacy, no Heavenfall available. I have enough health to let you take that. Mm. 170, 425, and big. Oh boy. I needed a third line somehow. Damn it. No Heavenfall this hand, eh? I'll get you behind, below 180, so you'll only deal 18 damage to me now. If I even want to be able to take down the front line here, I'd have to use Furnace Tab. But even then, it doesn't... I mean, it oh, God. I've got 3 Heavenfalls left in the deck. If I play Furnace Tap, I won't be able to play the Heavenfalls, and the Heavenfalls realistically are the only things that are actually capable of saving me long term in this run. I'm going to burn out a Calcified Ember because I don't think 1 damage is going to be the difference between life and death here, and I do think 1 card in the deck could be the difference. We need to survive exactly 1 more turn. We've got double Heavenfall in hand. I can only play 1 of them. Good old Antumbra Assault, though. We don't want the Amalgam to be killing here. An additional energy this turn would have been really helpful. You're kidding me. We're not even winning? Oh, it's just because the Chosen Assassin's here at the moment. That's okay. Hit him with the Heavenfall, and that'll take the fight then. Here's the only problem. We have already lost. Without having a way to restore additional Pyre health here, and that's a very lacking in health Pyre right there. I'm just gonna get... I can Daze Dominion once every so often, but I'm not gonna be capable of preventing Dominion from killing us. At least I get my Seraph win. See, I don't know if 400 gold from Heaven Seal would have made a difference. I do know, in retrospect, by the way, that I would have died in that fight had I taken it. Just to be clear, I recognize I did need to turn it off here. However, I am also saying that the world in which I could have taken that, maybe I could succeed the Titans. The world in which I haven't taken it, I really don't think there's any chance at this point, unfortunately. Of course, you take the fight. Deck's not explosive to be able to just suddenly win on turn 1, though. Ooh. It's a lot of very powerful early cards right there. Mooncycle, Bloodthirsty Blade. I'd love to be able to play Furnace Tap, but I don't think I can forsake energy for that long. Another 39 damages is another 23 by 2. Granted, the multi-strike will scale faster as well while I'm mooncycling. Alright, let's try a Furnace Tap. There's the Eclipse Chamber and I can't play it. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of stuff I was expecting. I've got Antimbra Assault. I can hit a single guy. Summon all of these morsels. Eat these morsels. Yeah, we're pretty much just dead. Actually, we're dead at the end of this turn. Or I could play Vengeful Shard and... No, I literally can't even play Vengeful Shard because I have no energy this turn. So I'm dead at the end of this turn because of that. No! My Heavenfalls! I am really happy to have gotten to play a run with Heavenfall being like the primary damage dealer. And I wish it was also in support of a run that managed to beat the Titans, but I will happily accept beating Seraph. Hit up the run summary to get a big copy of that Heavenfall. There were 4 of them in the deck, don't you know? Moon Pixies, also pretty nice, but maybe a little too... I think the Moon Pixies were a really good choice, actually. The Antumber Assaults were... Realistically, our second line was not capable of projecting much damage. I gave the multi-strike to the Astrologer rather than the second line, and I do kind of stand by that decision. It's just... The second line... It did very little as the fights went on, because it wasn't capable of scaling at the same speed. A single Shroud Spike would have changed that. Realistically, the way to change that is artifacts, and we just couldn't really afford them. Damn. Heading back to the outpost, we'll check in with the Tipsy Imp.
So, let me get this straight. All the witches in your clan use magic.
They are not witches, they are called Selena.
But all the warriors, including the both of you, can't use magic. Don't you think you got the short end of the stick?
We're not mere warriors. We are the silent. And no, we did not get the short end of the stick. It is a great honor and duty to be born as a silent. We are protectors of magic. Without us, the Selena would be vulnerable.
Sure, but don't you want to be able to do something cool? Like cast spells and stuff.
Cool? What a pointless endeavor. The silent are bastions of duty. We don't care about something like being cool.
Sorry, Moon God, but I'm with him. I'd rather cast magic. It's way cooler.
See? What did I say?
You... what? You can't be serious, can you? Magic wouldn't be special if everyone could use it. We fill an important role, rather, in the sacred duality.
So, you're saying our role is not to be special?
Short end of the stick. What did I say?
Bah, I don't know how to convince you to. We are cool. Just in a different way.
But you said we don't care about being cool.
I know what I said! Look, our bodies aren't suited for magic, but in exchange, we don't get weaker when the moon dims. It's a trade-off.
Well, I guess I can relate to that. I'm a dragon, but I don't got any wings and I can't breathe fire. So instead, I got a pretty good swing of my mace. Can pack a pretty nasty punch with it too.
So you can. You give 8 fire gel.
See? I, for one, think that is quite cool.
But breathing fire would be nice.
Hey, buddy. Breathing fire has nothing on quick multi-strike magma mauler. Chin up. That's right, all of it. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train 2. Top left is the series playlist for all my content of the game, past, present, future. YouTube recommendations down below. Streaming past are the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsityPlays. And above the thank tier, a special thanks this episode to Matthew. Hopefully you'll be enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.